What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a mock draft with trades. Yeah, I know, crazy, never heard of that concept before, but we're using a different website today. PFF is greedy and they like my money, but I'll not give them my money. So we're using NFL mock draft database simulator instead of PFF because, well, apparently they don't make enough money, so they got to pay their interns and writers somehow. They got to pay for, anyways, we're not going to get into all that. Yeah, another mock draft today. And if you guys are new to the channel, you haven't seen one of my videos before, the way I do my mock drafts are, number one, I base it off of what I think will happen, right? Prediction, because that's what a mock draft is, prediction, but also having fun, right? So I base it off prediction, what I would do, like what I would do for that team, scheme fit, so like the player fit for that team, plus my own rankings, like positional rankings. So like the only reason I have all this pulled up is so that way I got names that I can look at, and that just popped to mind. So I don't go by PFF's rankings, because if I went by PFF rankings, I would have what's a great example? Jerzon Newton going at 21, right? Like I don't think he's going to be a top 21 pick. I think he'll fall a little bit. Or I'd have a Brock Bowers going at 7, but Brock Bowers isn't going to go at 7, right? So obviously, I mean, it's just a big board. This isn't the order that the people are going to go, but there's a lot of things that go into it, and if you watch, you'll kind of know where I'm mentally at, right? And for the jersey, this is not a Chargers jersey. This is a Zach Charbonnet UCLA jersey. I buy a jersey every year for my favorite player in that draft class. I started in 2022. I got Jameson Williams. I got his Alabama jersey. Half it's red, half it's white. I love it. Then 2023, I got this jersey. I love Zach Charbonnet coming out of UCLA. He made me a partial UCLA fan, but I'm mostly an Oklahoma fan. Boomer Sooner, horns down. Remember the Red River rivalry. Sorry if you're a Texas fan and I pissed you off, but anyways, we're just going to go ahead and get into it. And if you guys do like the videos I've been producing so far, I took a break for a little bit, a couple days. I was sick, had a really bad fever, slept a whole bunch, like 14 hours straight. So if you hear me cough or something, or my voice starts to get scratchy, just pay no attention to it. And if you guys are liking the videos I've been producing, go ahead and subscribe, like, leave a comment. I'd appreciate it, and I'll respond to any comment. If you disagree with me, let me know. So, I mean, because that's what all these mock drafts are for, right? To have conversations about it, to think what we think will happen, to hope that we're correct, but none of us will ever be correct. So, if you disagree, just let me know. And my chair's going to lower for some reason. Pick number 1 to the Bears. I think it's Caleb Williams. They're shopping Justin Fields. He's either going to go to the Steelers or the Falcons, more than likely. Could go to a team like the Raiders or maybe the Vikings, but probably not. There's just a lot of places he could go because there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback. A lot of teams that need a quarterback that aren't picking in the range to probably get a quarterback, right? But I do think Caleb Williams will be the pick here, and I do think it will be Drake May at 2 to the Commanders. I mean, yeah, they could take a Jaden Daniels, but I think Drake May, the talent of Drake May, is just too good to pass up. Because, like, prospect fatigue is set in for Drake May, certainly. He was talked about, obviously being the number 2 pick. Like, nobody else could be the number 2 pick. It's going to be Caleb Williams and then Drake May. And Drake May did nothing but do good at North Carolina with the weapons or lack of that he had, with the O-line or lack of he had, right? So there's a lot of situations that factored in to Drake May not doing as good as his talent is, right? But I think that with the proper development, with the weapons around him, with Washington, right, obviously Terry McLaurin, but not a whole lot on the offensive line and not a whole lot outside of Terry McLaurin. But you can look to, boost that team. You're picking at 2. You got to get your quarterback, right? And they're very much looking at quarterback because their owner, Josh Harris, has been in with the quarterback doing interviews at the combine. So they will be taking a quarterback at 2. Don't get it twisted. Now, if they take a Marvin Harrison Jr. to pair with Terry McLaurin and keep Sam Howell, I'll be blown away. That's all I'm going to say. And the Patriots, I do think that they also take Jaden Daniels. They have been talking about, well, I've seen reports how they're saying that there's reports saying that they will bring in a veteran quarterback also while drafting a quarterback at 3. I mean, with the top 3 quarterbacks, you're guaranteed to get one of them. You're guaranteed to get a Caleb Williams, a Drake May, or a Jaden Daniels, which woohoo, you get whoever the other two don't want. But, maybe that's a blessing in disguise, right? And Cardinals at 4, I mean, their team is so bad, but you can't pass up on a Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrisons don't come around often. We've only seen 2. And the first one was a Hall of Fame receiver. The second one looks to be a generational receiver, generational talent, undoubtedly. And I do think he will absolutely translate to the NFL, no question. And now, this is where I get my first pick. And this is where I piss people off. You ready? So I'm not going to worry about trade details. I'm just going to swap first round picks. Just, hypothetically, right? And keep in mind, yeah, this is all hypothetical. You're more than welcome to disagree. And it's your opinion. This is my opinion. We're not wrong. We're not right. Anyways, my team moving up to number 5. Now, who could they be moving up for? Are they trying to jump the Giants for Malik Neighbors? Potentially. The Titans for a tackle? Potentially. But who else is on the board? I mean, the quarterbacks are gone, but there's another one. Oh, yeah, who could move up? Minnesota? What? You can't see it because my computer's in dark mode. If I switch it back, I get blinded and you can't see me very well. But, yeah, that's the trade. Obviously, it's not going to be 1-for-1, but this is just hypothetical. And I do think J.J. McCarthy will be a Minnesota Viking in this mock draft. Around draft time, will I think that? Probably not. But, I mean, the Michigan guy going to Minnesota, that'd piss off some Michigan fans and some Vikings fans. But Vikings fans would be happy that they get their franchise quarterback potentially, and Michigan fans would be happy that McCarthy goes in the top 5. I mean, like I said earlier, this is going to be a heavily stacked draft class. Did I say that? I don't know. I've done a few takes already. But this is a very stacked draft class, especially at the QB position. Teams will be more aggressive in trading first-round picks or trading future picks to move up in this draft because the talent at certain positions, especially receiver, quarterback, tackle, edge, corner, it's just loaded. And the quarterback class next year is not projected to be as good with Shadir Sanders, Quinn Ewers, not a lot of guys, Carson Beck. But I do think J.J. McCarthy has the traits and the tools, and he deserves to be a top 5 pick. If you disagree, watch my J.J. McCarthy film breakdown a couple videos ago. You'll understand why. Just watch the film, give him a chance, and you're going to love him, right? So that's where I'm at with that one. Giants here, all four quarterbacks are gone. I swear I just heard something. All 4 quarterbacks are gone. You got to go receiver. Malik Neighbors is looking at you right in the face. He's just staring at you, waiting for you to pick him. Now, will MetLife be hard on him? Probably. But will Daniel Jones be even harder on him? Absolutely. Just a lack of talent in that offense. I mean, you're losing Saquon. What else do you have? You got Jalen Hyatt. Okay, he's fast. You got Darren Waller. He's ancient. He's injury prone. The best player on their offense now is their left tackle, and it's a big drop-off after that. Not a lot of talent on that team. So you plug in a Malik Neighbors. He's immediately your wide receiver 1, and he will probably be your best LSU receiver since Odell Beckham Jr. But hopefully he doesn't end up like him. Titans on the clock again now. This gets interesting. So, you got the teams after him. Just looking at the Titans. I don't know where I was heading with that. Like I've already said before, new regime, right? New head coach, a new scheme. You're losing Derrick Henry. That's the big thing people need to keep in mind when doing mock drafts. Is they're losing Derrick Henry. You're not going to take a running back at 7. You got Tyjae Spears, right? You're fine there. It'll work out for a year. Your wide receivers, right? D-Hop. He's old. He's got 1 year left on his contract. He's old. Who's throwing in the ball? Okay, yeah. Will Levis. Okay. That's fine. Okay, now who's your second receiver? I just said okay like 6 times. Who's your second receiver? Traylon Burks? He's not good. He's not been good. He's not shown signs of being good. He's not going to be good. Who else do you have? Kyle Phillips? Amir Smith-Marset? Like, you don't have receiver figured out long term. In 2 years, there's a potential that none of those guys will be on the Tennessee Titans roster. D-Hop will probably be gone after his second year at Tennessee. Could be gone sooner. Traylon Burks will probably either get released or traded before the end of his rookie contract. The rest of them, probably going to get cut at some point. So who do you have solidified long term? None of them. Bring in a Rome Odunze. Give life to that offense. Derrick Henry was your life for years. You're losing your life. Bring in the Rome Odunze. You get a speed, yards after catch, great hands, deep threat player who can attack from all points on the field. Amazing body adjustments, great route running. Rome Odunze has a lot to love with him. And I think he would be a great fit for Tennessee. Immediate help to help develop Will Levis. And, your O-line could use some work, but so could their receiver room. Falcons at 8. There's a lot of different ways they could go. They could go, front 7, which is really bad outside of Grady Jarrett. Their secondary's fine. They got Jesse Bates, A.J. Terrell. It's fine. Richie Grant, who's solid. Their O-line's probably good. I think you need to lay off the offense. They're probably going to bring in Justin Fields. Just chill out on the offense. You got enough skill players. You got Bijan, you got Kyle Pitts, you got Drake London. At least use some of them, right? But the position that is not good is the front 7 especially. And Laiatu Latu had a great day today at the Combine. So did Dallas Turner. And, thinking about it, he's an Alabama player. So he'll probably go higher. He did freaky well at the Combine. Absolutely had the best day of any D lineman at the Combine, unquestionably. Maybe Braden Fisk. Is that his name, Braden? Yeah, Braden Fisk. He did really well at the Combine. That D tackle. But Dallas Turner did really good today at the Combine, and I do think that will boost his stock more. And he's starting to grow on me a bit, I guess. Chicago at 9. Now, who's on the board? Joe Alt. All the tackles are on the board. Literally all of the tackles are on the board. Okay. That's just the way the board has worked out. And, the Jets are going to take a tackle here. And, I'm going to do it. Yep. Chicago's trading down from the number 9 pick with the Los Angeles Chargers. Yep. Moving down just to move back up. Get picks and just move back up. Because all the tackles fell. You were in a position where you could have taken any receiver outside of Marvin Harrison Jr., or you could have taken any tackle. So you move down, you let the board work itself out, and you see, okay, the receivers are gone, but none of the tackles are. So you move back up, you get your guy. And this is a tough one for me because I would love a run mauler for them, but they don't need a run mauler anymore. They're losing Austin Eckler. They're going to look to air out that offense more, especially with, I would say Jim Harbaugh will. I hope he looks to air it out more. He didn't at Michigan, but I doubt it. I guarantee they take Blake Corum in the later rounds. I guarantee it. The Chargers are just going to be the Los Angeles Wolverines soon. But, judging by the kind of coach that Jim Harbaugh is, I think it's a Joe Alt through and through. Through and through. He is going to be a Charger. If in this situation, I think he will be. I'm kind of lost right now, I'm not going to lie. But great fit for him. They need to protect Justin Herbert. He's done nothing but just get smashed and smashed and smashed and smashed. Pause. You have a multi-$100 million quarterback in Justin Herbert, right? You got a great left tackle. Rashawn Slater, he's great. Zion Johnson's all right. You got Corey Linsley at center, who's fine. He's older, whatever. Your right tackle is Trey Pipkins. Trey Pipkins is protecting your franchise quarterback. Not anymore. Joe Alt will protect him. He's going to do great in the run game. He's a big boy. Would be a great right tackle. Doesn't quite have the agility or speed to play left tackle, but you already have your left tackle figured out. So keep boosting that O-line. And as a Chiefs fan, I would hate to see Joe Alt go to the Chargers. Jets at number 10. Maybe Joe Alt was the guy you were looking to take. Chargers jump the Jets, get the tackle that they want. Now the Jets here, a lot of ways they could go. If Aaron Rodgers hadn't got hurt this year, I think they'd take Talisa Fuaga. But based on the fact that he needs time to throw, because even if Aaron Rodgers hadn't got hurt, he would have got smashed all year. Zach Wilson got smashed all year. Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian. They all got sacked and smashed and pounded. Pause. All year. And you need a pass protector. And Olu Fashanu can for sure develop as a pass protector. I like Talisa Fuaga more than Fashanu, but Fashanu has that higher upside in the pass protection game, while Talisa Fuaga is a mauler in the run game. And yes, you would love a mauler in the run game with Brees Hall, but Olu Fashanu is more agile than a Mekhi Becton. And you can look to move Mekhi Becton onto the right side. Try to revive his career more, potentially, if you can, if it's still salvageable. But, the biggest thing with Mekhi Becton that caused his, lack of development, that stunted his development, was he was thrust too quickly into the left tackle role. He was not given time to adjust to NFL speed because he doesn't have the NFL speed. He ran fast in the 40 back in 2020 at the Combine. He doesn't have the lateral side-to-side agility. He doesn't have the agility in his feet to play left tackle. Moving him to the right side it helps with his development. He's still young, and he's still big as shit. So you still have something with Mekhi Becton. And you put Olu on the left side, you put Becton on the right. You hope you're good. Bears on the clock at 11. Receivers are gone. What did I already give an edge rusher? Oh yeah, I gave Dallas Turner to the Falcons. So the team's bad. It's still bad. It's makeup on a pig at this point. Not gonna take quarterback. You already took quarterback. Receiver, you're probably not gonna take any of these guys here at 11. You could move down again. You probably don't take a tackle. So you look at the defense, right? Secondary, it's solid. You got Jaquan Brisker, you got Jalen Johnson, you got Montez Sweat on one side. Nothing else. There's nothing else outside of that. And, you got Montez Sweat. He's a little bit of a finesse move kind of guy. He can pass rush fast. He can pass rush with power, right? He can do it all. And I think the best fit for the Bears here, if I'm being honest, would be a Jared Verse. Big, powerful guy. Powerful arms, powerful hands. I love Jared Verse. And, that D-line is not good. Montez Sweat he's fine. Everybody else is not good. You took Zach Pickens and Javon Dexter last year in the second and third round, I think. I know Javon Dexter was second. So you took young developmental defensive tackles, and you hope they can turn into something, but you still don't have that other edge position figured out. And Jared Verse will absolutely be that player for you, no question. Broncos on the clock at 12. Well, quarterbacks are gone. Sorry about your luck. And judging by the way the board has fallen to them, there's a lot of different ways they could go. Oh, shit. Do I do it? No, not yet. I'm not going to do it yet. I got one locked and loaded. Just wait. The front seven is not good. Like I've said with several other teams, it's not good. The Broncos secondary, just like the Bears, just like the Falcons, the Broncos secondary is good. Justin Simmons, Patrick Surtain, obviously, it's fine. And the front seven, your D tackles, your edge rushers, your linebackers just aren't that good. And when you got a player like Leatu Latu on the board, a player that can be that piece on the defense that you've been missing since you got rid of Von Miller, it's just been missing. And I think Leatu Latu can provide that. And once again, I would hate to see Leatu Latu go to the Broncos, but he's just such a good player. I loved him in my film breakdown. Yes, he's got the injury questions, but I think you could take a risk on that. I think that's a risk willing to take. It's a risk I would take. If I were the Broncos, I would absolutely take that risk. And, he's very polished. He's got great power. He's got great pass rush moves. He's got a plan, right? When you look at a player like Chop Robinson, he just goes. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just goes. And Leatu Latu, he knows. He's got his plan. He's got his move. He's got his counter move. And he's got his counter move. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get to the quarterback. And he will absolutely do that. And he had a great day at the Combine today, too. Raiders on the clock at 13. Felicia Fuaga just fell into your lap. You're bringing back Josh Jacobs, I assume. I haven't heard anything that they're getting rid of him. And they're not franchise tagging him, so I think they bring him back. And That's Josh Jacobs' new best friend, Talisa Fuaga. Mauler in the run game. You got Colton Miller on the left side. Put Fuaga on the right. Plug and play. Perfect. It's chef's kiss. Now, also, I hate the Raiders, and I would hate to see this, but I think it's a great fit for the Raiders. And if they don't take Talisa Fuaga, I think Terry and Arnold would be a great fit for him too. But whoever they pick is going to be a felon. Saints at 14. I have seen him linked to J.C. Latham a lot. Trevor Penning has not been what you expected or what you even wanted. And Ryan Ramczyk, there's reports with his bad knees. We've talked about it. And, similar to the Titans receiver situation long term, the Saints tackle situation long term does not look good. Ryan Ramczyk obviously hurt, like I just mentioned. Trevor Penning, not good. He barely played too, and when he played, he allowed a shit ton of pressures. So you get J.C. Latham, you get a guy that can start on either side that you need him to. You got a guy that can learn from Ryan Ramczyk, and he doesn't have the agility quite down, but I think you could stick and pick, plug and play. Wrong analogy. You could plug and play him on the left side, but you got a guy that can learn. And I do like J.C. Latham. He's got his ups and downs with me, but I do like his potential. And a lot of scouts and analysts that I have a high opinion of do like J.C. Latham, and obviously they know more than me. Some of them, not all of them, because some of them are dumb. Call it coward. Yeah. Moving on to 15 with the Colts. Do I do it here? I'm going to do it. Colts trading back. Where is Indianapolis? Colts trading back with... Ooh. No, I'm not going to do that team. I'll do this one. Cincinnati Bengals. Moving back just 3 slots. And Brock Bowers is still on the board. You take him. Losing T. Higgins potentially next year. You're going to lose Tyler Boyd this year. That team, that offense, can't get any deadlier, right? So you bring in a tight end. I mean, we saw what C.J. Uzomah did a couple years ago. It's C.J. Uzomah. He's not that good, but he looked really good. Now imagine Brock Bowers on that team. Another white player for Joe. Anyways, he could block too. Like, you got Orlando Brown on the left side, and you got Brock Bowers who can secure the right if you need him to in the run game. And can he do that at the NFL? Remains to be seen, but he's got the potential. Seahawks at 16. Ooh, how many picks do they have? I'm just looking at something. I'm not making a trade officially. Yeah, they don't have that. I was going to have Miami potentially look to move up, but they do not have the draft capital at all. And, Combine was today. A player that did really good at the Combine was Byron Murphy. And I think if you're the Seahawks, you're hard-pressed not to pick him. I mean, your D-line, you got Boye Mafe, who stepped up this year. You got Uchenna Nwosu, obviously, who's, expensive, not amazing, but you traded for Leonard Williams, and you're hopefully looking to bring him back. So you get a guy that can learn behind Leonard Williams, a guy that can fire off the ball just as fast as anybody. He's a bullet off the one tech. And yeah, he's a little bit shorter, a little bit undersized, but he is a monster in the run game and in the pass game. He's got great... Oh, I had that backwards. A monster in the pass game, and he's not too bad in the run game. Now, to be fair, he was playing with T'Vondre Sweat, who is just a massive, massive, massive human being. But Byron Murphy is... I really like Byron Murphy, unfortunately, as an Oklahoma fan. Horns down. Jacksonville at 17. Sorry, my voice is getting kind of scratchy. And I'm out of water, so... Jacksonville at 17. Yeah, you can't not take Terry and Arnold if you're the Jags. I don't know why the corners are falling here. They're just all on the board. Okay, that's interesting. But they're all falling here. So you could look to go receiver if you're the Jags. It's just whatever falls to you. If the receiver falls, well, if none of the corners fall, you take a receiver. But if a Kenyon Mitchell or a Terry and Arnold fall to you, you kind of have to. Because your secondary outside of Tyson Campbell is not that great. Andre Sisco's fine. But rebuild that Saxonville. Like, you're not going to get sacks with corners more than likely. But that defense that they had back in 2017 was just elite and looked to just keep building on it. And like, yeah, you could take a O lineman, protect Trevor. You could take a receiver for him to throw to, but I think if you can't pass on a guy like Terry and Arnold at 17, and my nose is itchy. And similar with the Colts, Kenyon Mitchell is a freak athlete. He's going to run today. As the time of me recording this, it is very early in the morning on Friday, the 1st, and the Colts love their athletes. They love their athletes. Maybe it's because the combine's in their stadium. Probably not related, but they love their athletes, right? With Anthony Richardson, that Adetomiwa Adebawore dude they took last year, Josh Downs. They are just a very athletic team. And Kenyon Mitchell is a mixture of athlete with great playability. Speed, he's got great hips. He's got great form when mirroring receivers. I don't know why that's hard to say. Mirroring. You know what I'm trying to say. I love Kenyon Mitchell. I think he could potentially go very much higher than 18. But just the way that the draft is this year, with how many quarterbacks will likely go, with all the receivers, with all the tackles, it's just an offense-heavy draft. So that could push, some of the edge rushers or corners down the board a bit. Rams at 19. Man, you're pissed to see Kenyon Mitchell fall this far just to go right before you. And they could look to trade up. They certainly have the draft capital. Outside, they don't have a 4th-round pick, but they got 2 thirds, 3 fifths, 4 sixths, but no 7th. Like they got picks. They could look to move 19, one of their 3rd, a 5th, and a 6th, and they could move up quite a bit with that. Maybe like 5 slots. So don't be surprised if the Rams trade up this year. This will be their first-round pick since, I don't know, the 9/11. But yeah, their secondary is not good, and Nate Wiggins I think would be a great fit for him. Very athletic corner, could go a lot higher than this. I think he's a sleeper. I'm pretty sure I had him falling out of the 1st round last time. He's even sleeping on in my mind, so he's got to wake me up. Pittsburgh at 20. Tyler Guyton is a very athletic guy. I'm not a huge Amarius Mims fan. Not a fan. Only started like 8 games. Doesn't scream pro potential or pro ready to me. Not a huge fan of his. But Tyler Guyton is a very, very athletic tackle who Boomer Sooner, Oklahoma made. I'm pretty sure he didn't start at Oklahoma, but I do love Tyler Guyton a lot. Great athleticism. Can play left or right, whichever you need him to play. And we'll probably start at the right side since you got Broderick Jones on the left. So keep building up them trenches. Get more support for Najee Harris in the run game. Protect Justin Fields, potentially. But, if they bring in Justin Fields, they're just... Arthur Smith is just going to have Justin Fields throw a pass to Kenny Pickett. They brought in Arthur Smith. That's so funny to me. Dolphins at pick 21. It's going to be hard to mess up this pick with the way the board has fallen to you. You're hard pressed to mess this up. Troy Fautanu. Don't overthink it. Flexibility. Can play tackle, can play guard. What do you need him to do? Do it. Don't mess it up. Don't take an Amarius Mims. Don't risk it. You can't risk it. You got Tua, who's constantly with injury questions whether he's your franchise quarterback. You have a lot of questions surrounding your team. You can't fuck up this pick. Take a safe pick. Take Troy Fautanu. Figure it out. Eagles at 22. What do you do? Should I trade? Because I'm waiting for this one spot that I've constantly had to trade, and I don't think it's this one. But judging by the way the board has shaped out, it's rough. It's a hard situation. I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to go Cooper DeJean. Their secondary is not good. They got Darius Slay, who's old. James Bradbury, who's bad. Kevin Byard, who's old. Who didn't perform like Kevin Byard did. And not much else in that secondary. Cooper DeJean can play wherever you need him to. You could put him a slot corner or safety, which is where I prefer him as. Not because he's white or a white. Not because of that. In my film breakdown on Cooper DeJean, I explained why he would be better at safety or nickel corner than on the outside. I don't think he has quite enough of the physicality and press coverage to play on the outside in the NFL. So I think he'd be better suited in the slot or at safety. And he's got great tackling too. But Cooper DeJean, I think, would be a great fit for the Eagles. Texans at 23. This is where I had the pick. Or the trade. Yeah. So I have the Texans trading down. Where's Houston? Houston. Just a couple picks with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we'll swap those. And now, the Bucs will probably bring back Baker Mayfield. And they released Shaq Barrett. They could potentially trade Devin White this offseason. And, their defense is just crumbling since 2020 when they won the Super Bowl. Their team is just crumbling. And they're probably going to lose Mike Evans. I've seen reports that they're very much far apart in contract extensions or just negotiations, not even extensions. So, more than likely he will be gone chasing another ring. And I don't blame him. So, now I talked about receiver, right? Or I've talked about, building up that defense. But I think with how deep this defensive class is, you're probably good to find other defensive talent down the board. Like with the linebackers, with other corners, with safeties. I mean, you got Antoine Winfield, but could he be on the way out? We don't know yet. So I think there's enough defensive talent, though, that you can safely go receiver in the first round. And that's Brian Thomas Jr. Just a very athletic guy. Great solid hands. Fast. He's like 6'4", too. Like 6'4" as well. And I mean, I love Brian Thomas to the Bucs. If you bring back Baker, that gets you, and you lose Mike Evans, that gets you another weapon to pair with Chris Godwin. And the wide receiver room if they lose Mike Evans, outside of Chris Godwin, it's not that good. Scotty Miller. Is Scotty Miller even still on the Bucs? Trey Palmer. So they got solid guys, right? But not good. Not Brian Thomas's. Dallas on the board. Now, in the mock drafts I was doing earlier, I did have Brian Thomas going to the Cowboys here. And I'm pretty sure in the video I did a couple videos ago about reacting to mock drafts, I'm pretty sure I disagreed with the Brian Thomas Jr. take to the Cowboys, if I recall. Or I agreed with it. I'm not sure. But what did that's not the pick that I had here. The pick that I had here. Now, CeeDee Lamb will get extended. He will get a lot of money. Who do you have outside of CeeDee Lamb? I've made this argument for every team I've given a receiver to. They don't have weapons outside of anybody or outside of one receiver. Now, yeah, you got CeeDee Lamb, but, I mean, Brandon Cooks, who's ancient. You got Michael Gallup, who will probably be gone soon. Kevontae Turpin? Like, come on now. We can do better. And when you think about Jerry Jones, you think of Texas-made, yeehaw, hook 'em horns, Adonai Mitchell. That's what I think of when I think of Jerry Jones. I don't think of his illegitimate daughter, right? I don't think of lawsuits. No, I think of Texas, born and raised, bigger in Texas, take A.D. Mitchell. Packers at pick 25. Now, I have always gone tackle. I've given him Jordan Morgan because I feel like that is a very Packers pick. But look at the Chiefs. Brought in Creed Humphrey, solidified center for years to come. Ravens brought in Tyler Linderbaum, solidified center for years to come. You don't have a center. You got solid receivers for Jordan Love to throw to. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, solid. Jaden Reed, can't forget him. I love Jaden Reed. So you got solid receivers to build around. Your O-line is not good. You got David Bakhtiari, who could potentially leave this offseason. And you could look tackle. You could look at Jordan Morgan. But in this situation, we're going to go... Just kidding. We're going to go Graham Barton. I was going to give him Jackson Powers Johnson. But based on the flexibility that Graham Barton has, that's what they were looking for with Zach Tom, who is solid. But Graham Barton is that tackle. He could play any position on O-line. You could probably put him at center, and he'd be fine. So put him at guard, put him at tackle, put him at center. You can put him wherever you need a solid starter at. Now, would he do better at guard compared to a tackle or center? More than likely. But he could play tackle in a pinch, could play center in an absolute pinch. But I do think the Packers will probably address O-line in the free agency as well. Now, Texans here. They list edge as a need. Yeah, their front seven outside of Will Anderson is not good. Probably don't go receiver here. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. You know, I'm going to keep it fun. Ooh, wait, maybe. Depending, yeah. I'm kind of torn between Chop Robinson, but they already have, a twitchy freak athlete in Will Anderson. They're kind of similar players, in build at least. Not saying Chop Robinson's Will Anderson, but similar build, similar twitchy athleticism. Now, could you get two of them? Or do you look to upgrade at the interior with Tavondre Sweat, who is just a massive human being, like 360 pounds? That's a big boy. And, you could look at Jerzon Newton if you want to help develop that pass rush. And, I'm going to go Jerzon Newton, honestly. You're in the AFC. You got, just to get to the Super Bowl, right? You got to go through Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, potentially, right? There's a lot of guys you're going to have to go through. And the best way to get through them is to go at them. And to go at them is with a great pass rush, and that's what Jerzon Newton is. He's a undersized D tackle that can rush the passer at an above average level. Pass rushing D tackles are hard to find. You don't see a Chris Jones or a Dexter Lawrence or an Aaron Donald. You don't see those every day. Pass rushing D tackles are hard to find. Receivers, they come by the bunches. Pause. D tackles, especially the pass rushers, good ones are hard to find. So I think you take a risk on a Jerzon Newton here. I think that'd be a great fit for the Texans. And you move down and you bolster that defense, especially in the front seven, which is very important. Cardinals at pick 27. Already gave him Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm going to go Chop Robinson here. They got B.J. Ojulari, who's fine. He didn't really do much this last year, but nobody on the Cardinals did. And, you could go offensive line as well. I think a Graham Barton would be a solid pick, maybe a Jackson Powers Johnson. But, your defense just is not good. It's just not good if we're being honest. Budda Baker is probably leaving. Maybe you can develop Garrett Williams into something. You still got Zaven Collins. You still got B.J. Ojulari, but not a lot of talent. And Chop Robinson did amazing at the Combine today. He's got amazing traits, great athleticism, great twitch, great, he doesn't have great pass moves, but he does his job in the run game. And if you can develop his pass rush, Chop Robinson is going to be a great player. I love Chop Robinson, in case you couldn't tell. Now, Bills at pick 28. I don't know why I clicked tackle. It's got to be a receiver. And I think Troy Franklin would be a better pick for him than a Keon Coleman, just based on the Troy Franklin speed and Josh Allen's arm equals long touchdowns. And I think that with Stephon Diggs' lack of production in the second half of the season, with Gabe Davis more than likely leaving, I think you got to bring in another receiver, keep that offense firing on all cylinders, and bring in a fresh face in that wide receiver room. Maybe get Stephon Diggs to, stop whining a little bit, right? So maybe that'll lighten his mood. It's like getting a puppy if your girlfriend's angry at you. Bring in a new puppy. Maybe that'll make her happy. Detroit at pick 29. There's a lot of ways they could go. And I did it last time, or maybe the time before that. I think I'm going to do it again. I think Ennis Rakestraw is a great fit for that Dan Campbell defense. The physical press man corner that's going to get up. He's going to get up in your grill, and he's going to let you know about it. And he did have injury concerns at Mizzou, but he's healed. He's fine. I think he's a great pick for the Detroit Lions here. Now, Baltimore at pick 30. Now, the Baltimore pick. This is as Ravens as it gets. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Long, lean Alabama corner to the Ravens. Remind you of anyone? Yeah. My one of my favorite players of the league, Marlon Humphrey. He's fucking hilarious. I love Marlon Humphrey. But Kool-Aid McKinstry, Baltimore loves their Alabama guys, especially at corner. He's got the size. His draft stock did fall a little bit, but I think he is still a very solid player, and he's got a dope first name. So, name value alone he'd be the number one pick if it was just name value. I don't know. Chop, stop, and roll. Chop's still cool. It's late. I'm trying to get this done. I've recorded this 30 times. Sanford at pick 31. Sanford at pick 31. It's got to be a tackle. And, I mean, when you talk about development, you just got one of the wisest men in Trent Williams. Maybe not the wisest off the field, or maybe not the wisest in what he chooses to do, but he's definitely the smartest when it comes to how to play the game of football at the left tackle position. And while I was thinking Amarius Mims when I started that, I mean, how old is Trent Williams? What would you say, 38 last time? Jordan Morgan does seem like a 49er, but I think your center just needs help. Protect Brock Purdy in the worst way possible, and you get Jackson Powers Johnson at 31. That's just a steal. Solidify your center of the future. Keep protecting Brock Purdy. You got the weapons for him. Now protect him. Let him get the ball to those weapons easier. So, makes the most sense for him. And the Chiefs here, I mean, tackle Jordan Morgan's on the board. Now, they probably will lose L'Jarius Sneed. That does need to be addressed. But the cornerback depth down the board is very good. I think they got L'Jarius Sneed in like the 4th round, right? What was it, 2020? Yeah, it was 2020 out of Louisiana Tech. So, it's possible. And the Chiefs are very good at developing corners. I mean, Charvarius Ward was, a 7th round pick? He was either 5th or 7th, I want to say. Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson did very good as rookies. Kind of stepped back this year, but that's because, they didn't get as much playing time. They made Mike Williams very good this year. Brian Cook. Chiefs can develop secondary players, so I think they don't need to go secondary in round 1. D-tackle, potentially, but you're looking at receiver, tackle. Maybe you take a Jatavion Sanders, but probably not. So right here, I'm looking at Patrick Paul, who I've always advocated for and loved, but I'm mostly looking at Jordan Morgan or Keon Coleman. And I'm going to go Keon Coleman just because I love Keon Coleman and I love the Chiefs, and I love that we need a receiver because I love flashy first-round picks. I love receivers. I love corners. I love edge rushers. Tackles are boring. That's why I don't do film breakdowns on tackles, because nobody wants to see that. It's important, don't get me wrong, but I love Keon Coleman. I would love him on the Chiefs. Jump Ball Jesus is what I nicknamed him. Yeah, I'm trademarking some of these nicknames, like the Polynesian Powerhouse for Laiatu Latu, White Lightning for Cooper DeJean, Jump Ball Jesus for Keon Coleman. If anybody ever brings these up, remember who said them first. But, will it let me save this time? Okay, awesome. Go away. So we had several trades in the mock drafts I did on my own. I had a lot more trades than this, but going back through, I kind of I do like this. Go away. I'm confident with these picks. The one, if I could go back and change, I'd potentially have the Saints trading down here. Maybe not have the Bengals move up as soon for Brock Bowers. Maybe let him fall to him. Potentially have the Rams moving up as well. Maybe have the Rams and the Saints switching. That could be a possibility. Maybe, there's a lot of trades. Obviously, there's probably going to be more trades than this. There's going to be more trades than 4, more than likely. But, that's just the fun of the draft. Once again, this is it. If you want to look back at it, if you skipped ahead to the video, and feel free to argue with me in the comments. I mean, I defended these picks as I made them. So if you disagree, just let me know. And if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know if you like it or not. And I think in the next video, we are going to do another film breakdown. And I'm going to get a 2-round mock draft out soon, potentially after the Combine. maybe talk about those later guys more. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.